Good morning, everyone. Let's see, today we're going to work on another Technics turntable. This is an SL-210 from 1978. This is one that has the S tone arm on it. Why they went from the straight to the S, I'm not sure, so I'm not going to say anything. But I do know it is easier to put it on the record. Whoop, there we are. It's kind of more of a ergonomical design. Where the straight one would come right out, and you just put it, I don't know, and kind of lands over in here somewhere, I guess. And then this one, you're more towards the front. I don't know what the thought process was about that. I'm not even going to try and find out. All we want to do is get this tested and working. But Technics, a little better design, a little higher quality than some of the other ones that I do. I really enjoy the Technics. Most of the time they're pretty good. The SL-210, kind of probably middle of the road for Technics as far as their quality and design goes. I think this was more of a consumer priced turntable. That it was priced for, the consumer. Jeez. Kind of bear with me. I'm kind of a little foggy headed today. I've been moving pinball machines and arcades for the past 2 days, and moved about 21 of them in the past 2 days. So I'm kind of a little rough this morning. I'm only on my third cup of coffee. But hey, no excuses. Get with it. Get your crap together and get with it. This one, frequency generator servo turntable system. Same thing, we have our adjustment. We can adjust our speed, or, well, they call it pitch. The speed is 33 or 45, and then your pitch is, you can adjust the speed, they call it. It's okay, whatever. This is not an automatic. This one you actually have to pick it up and put it on the record, or you can use your cueing. You lift it up. Yeah, that's working. Kinda. But if you lift up, push your lever over, it should lift up the tone arm, and then you can move it over to where you want it, and then you can lower it manually like that, and it'll slowly go down and meet the record. It's coming up, but it doesn't. Yeah, we'll take a look at it. Should be able to push it over, and that should come all the way up and lift up the tone arm, which it doesn't. Nope. So we'll have to take a look at that, and then once you get to the edge of the record, you can push it over, and it'll lower it slowly down onto your album. Like I said, this is a 1978. Dust cover's in good shape. The plastic dust cover, all the hinges are there. A little bit of scratching. What was nice about this one is it came in its box. We get the box with this one. You've probably seen me bring this one over. Technics by Panasonic. This is after Panasonic took over. And Panasonic was making the Technics brand for the consumer market. And I'm sure this is one of the ones for the consumer market. I don't know if anybody wants to listen to me get into the history of Technics, but we can take a little bit. I've run through this before with everybody. Technics was introduced as a brand name for premium loudspeakers marketed domestically by Matsushita. In 1965, the name came to wider prominence with the international sales of direct drive turntables. The first direct drive turntable was invented by Shuatsi Obata, an engineer at Matsushita, now Panasonic, based in Osaka, Japan. It eliminated belts and instead employed the motor to directly drive the platter on which the vinyl records rest. It is a significant advancement over older belt drive turntables, which are unsuitable for turntablism, which a lot of the DJs at the time were using them, where you could move them back and forth and go waka 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 waka, and the belt drives weren't good for that. The SL-210 and 1100 were the ones that the DJs really enjoyed using, because those ones were the direct drive motor and you could go waka 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 with them. Okay, where were we? Since they have a slower startup time and are prone to wear and tear and breakage, as the belt would break from back spinning or stretching. In 1969, Matsushita launched Obata's invention as the SP-10, the first direct drive turntable on the professional market. And I just kind of went over everything else with you. In 71, they had the SL-1100, which was the first direct drive that you could do the waka 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 with. And the rest of them, like I said, usually the belt drives were made for the consumer market, not the DJ market. And they were significantly cheaper. You can see the SL came out here in the late 70s, which that's what ours is, but ours is a belt drive and not a direct. But in the 70s, late 70s, the SL-13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 direct drive turntables were introduced. But mainly Technics was formed for loudspeakers, premium loudspeakers, and marketed domestically by Matsushita. But ours is a belt drive. So it'll, you know, Technics has some really good sound to their turntables. They made a good turntable. So what we're going to do to this one is we're going to service it. I do know it needs a belt. Take the mat off. You can see there's what's left of the belt kind of laying in there. Yep, it just kind of comes apart. Nice. And we know it needs a needle because that's what the box says. But we're going to turn it over. We're going to take the bottom off of it. We're going to clean the pitch pots. Pitch pots? Yeah, pitch pots. We're going to clean these two pitch pots, and then there's two other ones that we need to look at and see if we can get at them and clean them on these. There's two sets of pots on the, or potentiometers, whatever you want to call them, on this for this speed or pitch. And, you know, we have our power, which doesn't feel that like it's doing a whole hell of a lot. So we'll have to take a look and see if it's actually moving anything in there. And we'll get her cleaned up and get her tested out. So I'm going to get you set up in the stand. And we're going to flip this over. Well, we'll take the... See, there's a nice belt. Take the platter off, and we'll check everything here and get her flipped over, get the bottom off of it, and see what we have to do underneath to get it serviced and get it ready. Okay, we'll lock down this tone arm so it's not flopping around and beating off the dust cover. We'll leave the dust cover on. That was just the 45 adapter. I forgot to take it out. And should be just a bunch of Phillips screws on the bottom. Get my screwdriver working. Yep. Need magnetic tray. Now, as I said earlier, I was moving machines the past couple of days. We moved in 11 pinball machines and 9 arcades. Most of the pinball machines I don't mind moving, they're not too bad. But some of them arcades, man, talk about heavy. But yeah, got a bunch of stuff moved into the arcade. So we're ready for the, starting to get ready there. Now let's, okay, now there's 2. We know these 2 here, those 2 pots there, we will clean those up. We'll spray some contact cleaner in them and get them cleaned up. And then there should be, yep, there's the other 2. In fact, I can show you real easy. Take that screw out of the servo board, and there they are, right there, those 2. That's what will adjust your speed as well. Those need to be cleaned, and those need to be cleaned so you can adjust your pitch. And same as always, we'll just take some contact cleaner and we will get them cleaned up. We have a couple of spots that we need to get greased up. Clean the old grease off of them and put some new grease on them. Now let me see, is that a, yeah, that's a slide. No, that's not it, is it? Yep, that's a slide button. Know if we can, like to take him off. I'd like to take it off without breaking it. Maybe not. Don't want to. There it is, yeah. It's just a push on slide button. Now we can clean the green off of it. There we are. Yeah, see, you need to get those 2 cleaned up. Slide switches usually don't get too crappy, but they can. If you want, you can You can even clean up that slide switch. We may just go ahead and throw a little contact cleaner down in there. Little plastic guards, dust covers. No, we're not going to force them. We'll just get it cleaned up. And yep, we got our little, that's our on off. Yep, that's the on off. And that's our cue. Now we can see what's going on here. Alright, what do you want to do first? I'm gonna, let's clean up the old grease off of the mechanism over here and back in here. Let's get that all cleaned up and ready. And then we'll clean our pots. We'll spray some contact cleaner in them and move them back and forth and clean them. We'll kind of make note where they're at, so when we do clean them, we can, and we're done, we can put them right back where they were. So I'll get everything all rounded up and we'll start get the cleaning on this. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is get these pots cleaned up. Potentiometers. We're going to kind of, at a glance, see where they're at. This one's facing right towards the leg of that resistor. And this one's pretty close to this one, only a little bit off. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot a little contact cleaner in them, and then I am going to, hopefully, might need a little smaller screwdriver. Yep, got a screwdriver that will fit. Now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take our potentiometer here and just kind of move it back and forth and let that contact cleaner kind of work through it and clean the contacts up. All it is it's like a little, give me my screwdriver back. It's like a little wiper in there. It directs the power, you know, at a varying, geez. And from, you know, just sitting, they get dirt and tarnish on them. So if you can get to them and get some contact cleaner in them and just kind of run them back and forth a little bit, what that'll do is it'll kind of scrape on them, on each other as they're moving back and forth. It'll kind of clean it up and take the dirt and tarnish off of them. Then on these ones, same thing. We're going to try and find a place where we can get some contact cleaner inside the pot, which looks like right in through here. Yep. And we're just going to put some contact cleaner in them. And then we're just going to move them back and forth. And like I said, that little wiper in there that goes around on a contact plate, you just move him back and forth like this and he'll rub on that contact plate and kind of wipe and clean all the crap off of it with your contact cleaner in it. And most of the time you can get them to work again. You know, if they're not working, you can get them to work again by just doing that. It's the same on these little sliders. Give me my rag. on these little sliders here. If you put a little contact cleaner inside of it and then just move him back and forth. A little slider's pretty much like a potentiometer. And you know, it's the same thing. It has contacts on it and then it moves over another one back and forth, a set of contacts. And you know, it kind of adjusts, or you know, does different whatever it needs to do, like adjust voltage, or in this case on the potentiometers it would adjust the voltage to turn the voltage down a little bit to the motor, so it can either slow down, and then if you turn it up it'll adjust the voltage to the motor, and then it'll speed up. And when you have 45 and 33, each one of these go to the motor, and when you switch it over, it will like if you go to 33, it'll go to the corresponding potentiometer here. We'll just say this is 33, and then you'll adjust. All you're doing is adjusting the voltage on the motor to make it speed up or slow down. These ones here, this is for a little bit more fine tuning. These ones really do set the speed of your motor, and then you fine tune it with these, I should say. And so if your motor, even if you have this turned all the way up and you're going too slow, you can still adjust this one up. And you want to go a little bit past, making it faster than what it sounds. That way you can fine tune with this one to slow it back down. Or vice versa. You know, if it's going too fast and you can't slow it down enough, you know, you do the opposite. So we got to get these kind of dried off a little bit, and then I'll let them sit here for a while all the contact cleaner and everything kind of evaporates, and then we can get it put together. But I'm going to leave it kind of open so that the air can get to it, and we're going to move on. Moving on up. We're going to start working on our linkage over here. Now this one we can actually pull a lot of this stuff apart and clean it. This holds down the queuing. We should be able to, maybe not. Let me see. We can take, yeah, we can take this one off. Take that little bracket off there. This end, you can see the little fork. Where are you at? God. You can see the little fork on it. It just kind of forks over that, your switch. And what we're going to do is we're just going to clean up as much as this grease. This looks like graphite grease. It's still pretty soft. Put him up there. Okay. And then over here, same thing. We're just going to, ooh, now that is pretty stiff. That's some pretty stiff grease there. That cleaned off, and we'll clean off this little bracket here too. Okay, and then we're just gonna put some grease on it. Same with here. Grease out here on the end where it hooks up to the lever. Dab a little on either side of it. And clean that off. Not a whole lot to a lot of these, from 78 till now. There's just, a lot of the greases get stiff. Although, the grease on this one wasn't bad. But, hey, let's grease her up. And we'll get grease, get some new grease on it. Good. Okay, let's see. What else can we do while we're here? While we're waiting for those PCB boards there to dry out. Let's take the spindle out of it. Back you off just a little. There we go. You can see the old nasty grease that's on our spindle. This will also cause it to run slow, as if you have stiff grease on this thing, which, yeah, it's getting pretty. Okay, what I'm going to do here is kick you, and then I am going to put a little bit of 3-in-1 oil on that. There's enough grease down in it that 3-in-1 oil will loosen that grease up, and that's what we want. I mean, you can go as far as, just taking it and spraying it with brake clean or contact cleaner or something like that and get it all cleaned out and then re-grease it. It's pretty good. Okay. even in 78, most of this turntable was made of plastic. Put our crown strap back on it. Okay, now all I got to do is I'm going to wait a little bit for my potentiometers to kind of dry out, and then we can get it put back together. Okay, we let them dry out for, oh, it's been probably about 20 minutes or so. Get them put back in. And we'll take a look and see what's going on with our queuing. And see why it doesn't want to. Okay, this is the little plunger, or it's weird. It's almost like a little shock absorber, like what's on your what holds up your back of your hatch or something. It's kind of something like that. It releases, and the pressure kind of moves out, and that spring is what pulls it up. It's like a little shock absorber, and it actually, you know, when you relieve it, it wants to, that spring pushes it up, in this case, pushes it up and holds up your tone arm. Well, it has grease on it, but it's really hard to get anything on it, you know, as far as, so I am just gonna, we're gonna put some 3-in-1 oil down in it and see if that loosens it up. Like maybe there's, you know, some nasty grease in it that's all stuck. And we'll see if we can't loosen it up a little bit. It might be that it's just got some old grease in it, and it won't, the grease is so stiff it won't let it push all the way up where it belongs. That's better. It does. Yeah, I know. There's a joke in there somewhere about that. About a rod going in and out of a little tight hole. But I'm going to leave that alone. You should too. Keep your mind out of the gutter. There's a little bitty E-clip on the top of this we could take off and actually take that spring off. Is that an E-clip? Yeah, there's a little bitty E-clip on there we could take off. Take that spring, and we could actually take that whole thing up out of there. But before we put the bottom back on. That's the adapter. Let's take that adapter out of there first. Let's undo the... Oh, you can't see what the hell I'm doing. How about that? Does that look better? Okay, Q. We want it to lift up. Should... See that? That's still... That's down too far. Okay, now there's a screw here. I wouldn't suppose... Aha! Ooh, there's kind of an adjustment on it. I turned that little screw and it popped up further. That's pretty, that looks good now. Alright, so I think we got that figured out. And I don't think there's anything else that we need to do in here. I do believe everything else is good. Good to go. Our on-off switch is just a little micro switch. That's why I didn't feel like there was anything going on. And it's the original because it's from Matchitza. I don't know if... Yep, Matchitza. In other words, it's Shitza. Alright, now we'll get the bottom back on this and do some stuff up top. Get a belt on it and get a new needle put on it, and then we'll be ready to hook it up. So I'll go ahead and put the bottom on. Make sure it's got a clean bottom. Yep, nothing up inside of it. Nothing worse than having a dirty bottom. Until this is the 70s. Because of the faux pas wood bottom. I don't even know what you call that type of stuff. Most of it, you know, like I said, even at this time where everything was a lot of plastic. Yeah, which is fine. Just plastic better than cardboard. Okay, first thing oops, get up here. There we go. First thing we're going to do is get rid of this. You can tell that this one has sat somewhere warm because the God, that belt's turned to gum. Look at that. Yeah. It's as bad as that. That gumball machine I had my hands in. Alright, I'll go get rid of this. And we got to clean up what's left of that belt on there. That's the thing, let's see, in 78, I'll bet that that belt was actually had rubber in it, not synthetic. And that's why it turned to mush like that. Is, you know, rubber's a, you know, they get it from trees, so it's an organic compound, so it can degrade and rot. And that's exactly what that did. Oh, by the way, I'm just using alcohol to clean up that nasty rubber. Don't forget your rubbers. I just figured while I'm here with the alcohol, I'll go ahead and clean up all the crud underneath. And then what I am going to do, since we're right here, is we're just gonna put a little drop of oil on the top of our motor, because there was no place to put any oil on the bottom. So at least we'll oil that top bearing. Yeah, real rubber is, you know, it's stretchier, and it'll actually grab better than the synthetic. Synthetic rubber is a little harder, and it doesn't grab, you know, and latch onto. Natural rubber is really sticky, and that's exactly what that felt like, was just, you know, natural rubber. It was just really sticky. Okay, where are we at now? Oh, we need to put our, no, I need to clean that up. That's our speed selection. Yeah, 45, 33. Okay. Now what do you want to do? Let's get our belt ready to be put on. Alright, let's see, before we put that belt on, I'm just gonna, let's see what that, boy, is that smooth. That there is pretty. Okay, we got us a new belt. What's this one for? Let's see. Platinum Power Turntable. B31, SL-33, SL-B200, SL-B210. New. That's helpful. I'm glad it says new on it. Doesn't say reconditioned. Strap our belt on. You ever wonder why they put those holes in there? Now you know why. So you can, now you can't see what the hell I'm doing. Let me get you down here. Come on down from there. Okay, you can see there our belt there, and right there's our motor. And what I do is I take my little poker here, get under the belt, and just stretch it over. There. Cool. Yeah, now you can get back up in your high chair. Now on this needle, what's nice about these ones is, you know, we can take the whole cartridge off here. Simple. And we can pull, 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 pull. That one pull or snap down. let's see what, oh, that one just snaps down on there. All right. You can see there wasn't much left on that. And then we'll take our new needle. What's this one for? This one says for Disney Little Red Riding Hood. No. This is for our Technics. Now you can see there's just a slight difference between your needles. Like this one has nothing, and that one has a needle. No protector with this one. I like the one that one we did that had the protector. That one just snaps down in like so. Make sure you don't push on your needle. Uh-oh. Guess what? It had no fit. It had no worky. Nope. Sent us the wrong needle. Well, that's not good. Okay, had to do a little research on this. Okay, this is the needle I had ordered for the SL-210, which should fit because that is the right one for an SL-210. Okay, we're just going to set him off to the side. Hopefully I don't screw it up. Alright, this cartridge that is in our SL-210 is a generic, end and cartridge. And this needle is nowhere to be found. So what we have to do is change the cartridge on this one. We have to change everything out on this one. Alright, now we're gonna get our new cartridge put on. This is our old one. You can see this one's color coded. You have red, white, green, and blue. That looks like yellow, but on our shell it's white. And that's the only one that doesn't match up, so we know that's white. Now, on our new one, it's not color coded. But if you look really close, I don't know if this is going to show up. If you look really close, plus is your positives on the top, and your bottom is negative. This side is your right, and this side is your left. Now, if you look at your old cartridge, if you don't remember how you took them off, if you look at your old cartridge, the one that's color coded, your red is your right, and your white's going to be your left. And then your green and blue, your red and green, and blue and white. So that's exactly how we're going to put the new cartridge on. You know, so if you can just set him up like that. So you can see. No, you can't. Like so. Only we want it turned around like that, because that's how we're gonna put it together. So if you look at your old one, your white will go down on the bottom right. Come on. And then your red and you can see your white in your blue are on the right hand side. So we'll take our little blue wire and put it right above the red. And then of course, the only one you have left is your green. Now we will need our screws. The new cartridge comes with 2 sets of screws, long ones and short ones. And there's 2 little plastic washers. Now we'll take a look and we'll see. See, that's going to be 2. No, that'll be good. So we'll use the short ones. We'll get one of these little plastic washers. Put him on there. Now we're not going to make them tight. We'll save that old cartridge. You never know when we run across another cartridge that, or a needle that'll actually fit on. Okay, now we need to align our cartridge. Take off our mat. We'll get our alignment tool out. You take the mat off because the thickness of your alignment tool it sucks it up. Alright, might have to. Oh, looks like I need to change my battery. Good thing I've seen it this time and I'm not killing you.